Hello and welcome students. We are into the 27th video lecture of the video lecture series made on the subject of mechanics of solid, whose subject code is ME201, and the topic which we are going to discuss today is the numericals based on bending stresses in beams. This is the third part of the topic bending stresses in beams. If you have not gone through my previous video lecture, go into the lecture number 25th and 26th. In that I have touched and covered the topics which are considered before this topic. Means you are going to get the understanding of what is bending stress, how we calculate the bending stress in a beam, and then after what is the bending moment equation, what is neutral axis, alright, what is the moment of resistance, what is flexural strength. All these things I have covered in the previous two video lectures, that is the video lecture number 26 and 27. I am Shri Krishna Mishra, Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyat Vihar University, Jaipur. So before starting our today's lecture, let's see what are the objectives of today's lecture. The objectives of today's lecture are: first, we are going to apply the concept of bending stresses in order to find the strength of a beam subjected to bending load. Alright, whenever the bending load is applied on a beam, whether it is a cantilever beam or a simply supported beam, we are going to use the concept which we have studied in the previous two video lectures in the numericals. Alright, we are going to use the concept of bending stresses to find the strength of a beam and what should be the dimension of a beam for a maximum in order to bear the bending load. Alright, then after we are going to know about the bending equation. Already bending equation has been discussed in the previous video lecture. Then the third objective is we want to calculate the maximum bending stress developed in a beam due to the load applied. So this was the third objective. Then the fourth objective is to understand about the modulus of resistance. What is modulus of resistance? I have already told you. Alright, so we will discuss more on it. Then after we are going to solve the numericals which are based on the bending equation. So these are the objectives of today's lecture, students. Let's move into the numericals now. Let's take an example. This is an example in front of you. You can see that a rectangular beam is to be cut from a circular log of wood of diameter d. So basically what we have to do, we have to cut a rectangular beam from a circular log of wood whose diameter is d. This is the log, this is the wood. As you can see, student, this is the wood. Alright, and this is the cross section of the wood, in fact, and this is the diameter of the log of wood. And what we have to do, we have to frame a rectangular beam, alright, which is very strong in case of bending. Means the strongest beam which can sustain the bending load that we want to create from this log of wood whose diameter is capital D. Now let's take the width of the rectangular beam as B and the depth of the rectangular beam of the strongest section be D. Before solving this numerical, let's tell you something which I have discussed with you in the previous video lecture. Let's have a short recap of that. I have told you, students, that in the case of beams, first of all, neutral axis has to be taken, and neutral axis for a symmetrical beam is considered to be passing from the centroid or the center of gravity area. Alright, and after that, students, those particular area which are those particular portion of the beam which is above, those particular portion of the beam which are above the neutral axis, they bear the tensile load. Alright, and those below the neutral axis, they bear the compressive load. Those fibers or those part or those section of the beam which is above the neutral axis, they bear the tensile load, they bear the compressive load, they bear the compressive load. Alright, so this portion which is above, this will bear the compressive load, and the one which is below, this will bear the tensile stresses. So this is the neutral axis. Generally it is the one which passes through the center of gravity of the section. Then after, the moment of resistance is basically the moment, alright, which is developed in the section in order to resist the moment that is developed in the beam due to the bending. Alright, and what is the equation? The derivation I have already told you. The final equation, the final bending equation which we have derived in the previous video lectures is m upon I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. M is your bending moment, moment of resistance. In fact, this is your moment of resistance. I is your moment of inertia of the beam, of the cross section of the beam. Sigma is the bending stress. Sigma is what? Sigma is the bending stress. Y is the distance of the outermost fiber from the neutral axis. Generally it is equal to depth divided by 2. Then E is your Young's modulus or modulus of elasticity. E is what? E is your modulus of elasticity. Then R is your radius of curvature. So in this way, that all the terms of this bending equation I have told you, this is basically the equation of theory of simple bending, and it gives us the relation between various characteristics of a beam. Now apart from that, this is the diagram which is generally drawn in order to show you the bending stresses which are acting on the beam. Alright, you can see there is compressive stresses above the neutral axis and there are tensile stresses below the neutral axis. So in this way, by drawing the diagram, they are shown. And how we calculate the modulus of a section? Modulus of a section is basically what? This is the bending equation. From the bending equation, you can say that a bending moment of resistance or bending moment is equal to sigma bending stress into I by y. Alright, and this I by y can be written as a section modulus. This I by y is what? It can be named as section modulus or modulus of section. Z is equal to I by y max, maximum value of this distance from the neutral axis. Alright, so this is the section modulus. So basically we can say that bending moment is equal to sigma into Z, maximum bending stress into Z, modulus of the section. Rectangular section, student, for a rectangular section, Z will be your BD square by 6. Similarly, for a circular section, Z will be equal to pi by 32 D square. This is important to know before solving the numericals. And finally, the strength of a section can be calculated by this equation. M is equal to sigma into Z, where Z is section modulus. Now in this question, we have already read this question before going into the theory which I have explained. In this rectangle, we have to cut a rectangular beam, alright, which is strongest in bending, and we have to cut this rectangular beam from a log of wood which is circular in cross section and diameter is D. Alright, so first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to calculate the section modulus for a rectangular beam, whose depth is D and width is B. How we can calculate? As I have told you in the theory just now, that section modulus is given by, for a rectangular section, sectional modulus is given by BD square by 6. BD square by 6. Alright, and from this geometry of this diagram, you can see, students, that this particular length, if we want to find the relation between B and D, we have to do one thing. We have to first of all draw a line from here to here, which is the diagonal of this rectangular section. Now, since this angle is 90 degree, this angle is, student, 90 degree, we can apply Pythagoras theorem in this particular triangle. And according to it, we can say that B square plus D square will be equal to capital D square. That is the diameter, because this diagonal you can see, it is basically what? It is equal to the diameter of the log of wood. Alright, so by Pythagoras theorem, b square plus d square is equal to capital D square. This means that small d square can be written as capital D square minus b square. Alright, moving further, now this d square value which we have calculated, we will put this value in this formula of section modulus. Alright, this value of d square, small d square, we are going to put in this formula of section modulus. Alright, so let's do this. When we will put the value of this d square in the formula of section modulus, we will get an expression like this. Now for a beam to be strong for bending, whenever we have to find a beam which is strong in bending, so what we can do, this section modulus, we can differentiate this section modulus equation. This modulus of the section equation can be differentiated and it can be equated to 0. So let's differentiate this section, and this b, let's the width of the b be the variable. So this dz by dv means differentiation of this section modulus with respect to the width will give you how, when you will do the differentiation, bd square will become equal to d square and b cube will be equal to 3b square. 6 is the constant, it will remain intact. And finally, what you are getting a relation between small b and capital D, and that is what? That is your small b is equal to capital D by root 3, capital D by root 3. Alright, so this is the relation, which will give you the maximum, which will give you the beam which is strongest in bending. Alright, so whenever it is asked in the numerical, in order to find a section which is the strongest in bending, we will what we will do, we will differentiate the section modulus equation for that particular section. Alright, now substituting this value of b in this, substituting this value of b in the equation of depth. So the depth, as you all know, it is equal to d square minus small b square. In place of small b square, we have brought d by root 3, and its square will be equal to d square by 3. Finally, you are getting that small d is equal to 2 capital D square by 3. Small d is equal to capital D to root 2 by 3. Alright, so this is the final relation between small d and capital D. So I hope you have understood this numerical. This numerical was basically based on finding the section, rectangular section, which is strongest in bending. Now students, let's take another example. First of all, let's read out what the question is saying to us. There are two beams which are simply supported over the same span and have the same flexural strength. Alright, means the bending moment value is same. Now we have to compare the weight of the two beams if one of the beam is solid and the other is a hollow circular with internal diameter half of the external diameter. Internal diameter, if we short write it at di, it should be equal to do, outer diameter, divided by 2. It is given in the question for this hollow beam, hollow cross section beam. Now what we have to do, we have to compare the weight of the two beams, and in the question they have given you, both the beams are of same length, and even the flexural strength is also same, that is the moment of resistance, bending moment is also same. So what we will do, first of all, let's take capital D as the diameter of solid beam and capital D1 as the diameter of the hollow beam, and inside diameter we are taking as d, small d. Now consider first let's consider the solid beam, student. So in case of solid beam, we all know that section modulus is, how we can calculate the section modulus? Section modulus formula for a circular beam is pi by 32 d to the power q. Alright, and in this, let it remain intact, nothing we can do for this. For hollow beam, what will be the formula? In the case of hollow beam, since it is a hollow, therefore we all know that pi by 32 d to the power cube in place of d to the power cube. We all know that how z is calculated. Z is basically what? Z is equal to your I by y. Alright, I by y, and I for a hollow circular section is what? Pi by 64 d to the power 4. Pi by 64 d to the power 4. Alright, d to the power 4. D to the power 4 pi by 64. Alright, in this way. And y is what? Y is your d by 2. So here in the case of a hollow section, this d4 will be d outer diameter to the power 4 minus inner diameter to the power 4. Alright, in this way. And what will happen, students? You can't cross out the d from up and down. You can't cross out. So here this formula will be intact like this: pi by 32 into d1, and in numerator it is d1 to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4. Finally, what you are getting on simplification, when you will put the value of small d, as in the question it is already given to you that small d is equal to capital D by 2, capital D1 by 2. So here 0.5 into D1 we have put in place of this small d, and finally you are getting a relation for a hollow circular cross section beam. The section modulus is pi by 32 into 0.9375 D1 by 2. Alright, I hope you have understood this. Now, moving further, students, after this calculation, since the flexural strength was same for both the beams, in the question it is given that flexural strength is same for both the beams. This means that sectional modulus will also be same. Section modulus will also be same means equating the sectional modulus, section modulus value of both hollow and the solid beam, you will get a relation between the diameter of both the beams. So if capital D, diameter of the solid beam, is equal to 0.98 into diameter of the hollow beam. Now, since we also know, that the weight of two beams are proportional to respective cross-sectional areas. Weight of the two beams are proportional to respective cross-sectional areas. Getting my point? This means that what I am saying to you, students, weight of a beam is directly proportional to cross-sectional area. Alright. So this means that we can write that W1 for the solid beam, or in fact we can write WS upon WH, alright, can be written as area of solid upon area of hollow. Alright, this means that, students, we can write it in this way, that weight of solid beam upon weight of hollow beam is equal to area of solid beam upon area of hollow beams. Alright, finally you can put pi d square by 4 as the area of solid beam, and pi by 4 capital D square minus small d square as the area of the hollow beam. Put these values in their places, and on simplification you will get small d is already your 0.5 of the bigger diameter, and putting this value you will get a relation between the weight of solid beam and the weight of hollow beam, and it is equal to 1.28. So this is numerical. I hope you have understood, students. Now let's discuss the bending stresses in the case of symmetrical sections. The bending stresses, student, in case of symmetrical sections is since till now what we have done, we have find the bending stresses for simple sections like this. Alright, for the simple sections like circular section, this is the circular section, this is the hollow circular section, rectangular square section, rectangular sections. Alright, so we know that in a symmetrical sections like these, the center of gravity lies at the geometrical center of the section. So since the neutral axis of the section passes through center of gravity, therefore neutral axis of the symmetrical section passes through its geometrical center. Alright, neutral axis for such type of symmetrical sections, we have seen that it will pass through the geometrical sections. Now in such cases, the outermost fiber or extreme fiber is at a distance of d by 2 from its geometrical section. What we have seen that the neutral axis, distance of this neutral axis from the outermost fiber. This gives you the value of y, and we all know that the outermost fiber is at a distance of d by 2 from its geometrical center, where d is the diameter and or the depth. In the case of a circular section, d is the diameter, and in the case of a square or rectangular section, d is the depth. Now, one thing to be noted is that in most cases, students, we are required to find the maximum bending stresses in the sections. Alright, in many cases we are required to find the maximum bending stresses in the section. We know that the bending stress at a point in a section is directly proportional to its distance from the neutral axis. Sigma b bending stress is directly proportional to distance from the neutral axis, that is y. This we already know from the bending equation. Therefore, maximum bending stress in a section will occur in the extreme fiber of the section. Therefore, we can conclude that maximum bending stress in a section will occur at extreme fiber, at the outermost or the lowermost fiber, at the topmost or the bottommost fiber. You will get the maximum bending stress. Then after, let's take another example on the basis of these symmetrical sections. This is an example, students. We are taking a symmetrical section. This is a rectangular beam, alright, and the dimensions are 60 mm width and 150 mm height, and the point load which is acting on it is 12 kilonewton load. This is given in the question. The length of the whole of the span is 6 meter, and it is subjected to central point load of 12 kilonewton. We have to find the maximum bending stress in the beam section. Maximum bending stress we have to calculate. So see, since this is a symmetrical section, so neutral axis will be passed through its center of gravity here. So we can draw the bending stress diagram in this way. Again, it is showing you the value of bending stresses at the portion above the neutral axis and below the neutral axis. So, what we are going to do, first of all, as I have already taught you how to draw and how to find the shear force and bending moment at any section of a beam whenever bending load is applied on it. You can go into my previous video lectures and you can find, I have also given you a lecture on how to calculate the shear force and bending moment on a beam. So based on it, we all know that if there is a central point load acting on a beam which is simply supported, if there is a central point load acting on a beam, for example, if it is W, so we all know, students, that the bending moment due to this point load is equal to WL by 4. The bending moment due to this point load, maximum bending moment at the center of the simply supported beam subjected to central point load is equal to WL by 4. This we have already understood in the shear force and bending moment diagram case. If you remember, I have told you how to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram for such cases in which there is point load, and if it is at the center, then it is very easy to calculate directly. If the load which is acting is W, the bending moment maximum which you will get at the point where the point load is applied, and it will be equal to WL by 4. Alright, so WL by 4 is your maximum bending moment. So we can calculate the value of this bending moment. Alright, here we can calculate. We have the value of load, it is 12 kilonewton. You will have to multiply it with 10 to the power 3, and L is the length of the span, it is 6 into 10 to the power 3. Finally, you will get the value of bending moment. And the section modulus, how we will calculate the section modulus for the rectangular section? We already know this, also we have studied just now a few minutes earlier and in the previous video lecture also, that the section modulus of a rectangular section is given by BD square by 6. If you put the value of B, which is given to us as 60 mm, and the value of depth is 150 mm, so we can get the value of section modulus also. And now if M, that is bending moment maximum value, and Z, that is the section modulus, these both values are known to us, and by formula we can calculate the value of maximum bending stress which says that sigma max, maximum bending stress, is equal to m by z. Putting the value of m and z, we can calculate the value of maximum bending stress. It is in Newton per mm square. This means we all know that Newton per mm square is known as your megapascal. So in this way, 80 megapascal is the answer of this question. I hope you have understood this numerical, students. Now let's take one more example. In this example, we are applying the UDL, uniformly distributed load. In this example, we are applying the UDL, uniformly distributed load. The rectangular beam is 300 mm deep and it is supported over a span of 4 meters. Alright, so depth they have given to us 300 mm. Alright, they have given to us the depth. This is the depth, students. Let's focus on this diagram. So what they have given to us in this, you can see easily that they have given us the value of the span, 4 meter length of the beam. Then they have given us the value of depth also, 300 mm. Here it is given. Alright. Then it is also given that what we have to calculate the value of UDL. This UDL which is acting, let it be equal to small w kilonewton per meter. We have to calculate this value the beam may carry if the bending stress is not to exceed 120 megapascal. We have to calculate the value of this UDL if the bending stress sigma value here should not exceed, sigma b value should not exceed 120 megapascal. Also, the moment of inertia is given to you as 225 into 10 to the power 6 millimeter to the power 4. Alright, mm4. So how we are going to solve this question? See, moment of inertia is already given to you. Moment of inertia is also given to you of the beam. Alright. And apart from that, the dimension is also given to you. This is the depth, this is the stress. So what we will do, students, for a beam which is loaded with a UDL across its whole of the section, like this here in the question. For this, the maximum bending moment for such cases is given by WL square by 8. This I have taught to you in the video lecture in which I have discussed the shear force and bending moment diagram. In that I have taught you that if the whole of the beam is loaded with a UDL, then you get your graph of bending moment, your diagram of bending moment like this, with maximum value at the center, This type of graph you generally get, and the value you get, the maximum value which you get is WL square divided by 8. This is the value which you get when a beam is loaded with a UDL across its whole of the section. So if this is the bending moment, students, if this is the bending moment, WL square by 8, and also by formula of bending stress, we know that moment of resistance, to which we also say that moment of resistance which is developed due to this bending moment, it is equal to maximum stress into this section modulus Z. And the section modulus value, as we all know section modulus value, how we can calculate the value of section modulus? Section modulus value is very easy to calculate, Z. Alright, for this, let's first of all see that whether the value is given to you or not in this question. So in the question, since you can see, students, that moment of inertia is already given to you, and also this the value of depth is also given to you. And we all know that if we want to calculate the section modulus, students, how we calculate the section modulus? We all know that section modulus Z is equal to I divided by this value Y. Where how we will write this? I is already given to you, 225. Alright, 225 into 10 to the power 6. 10 to the power 6. Then after, the value of Y is here, it will be equal to 300 divided by 2. It will be equal to, depth is 300, and we all know it is the value of Y is equal to depth divided by 2, distance of the neutral axis from the outermost fiber. This value is your Y, and it is equal to 300 by 2 here. So basically what will be the value? This will be equal to, if you will divide, you will get the value. It will be equal to 1.5, something 1.5 into 10 to the power 6. So in this way, this value of section modulus Z is calculated 1.5 into 10 to the power 6, and moment of resistance which is developed in the beam due to the loading will be given by sigma into Z. This we have already seen. So finally you will get the moment of resistance value 180 into 10 to the power 6. And we also know that in case of a UDL in a simply supported beam, the value of maximum bending moment is WL square by 8. So why not to equate this particular value of bending moment with this equation? And we already have the value of the length of the beam, that is your 4. Alright, so equating this 4, the only unknown is your load which will be acting, the value of the UDL. Alright, so finally this will be the equation and you can get the value of W. You can finally get the value of W in this way, the value of the uniformly distributed load that will be acting on the beam, uniformly distributed load that will be acting on the beam. Now students, this I think you have understood in a better way. First of all, section modulus we have calculated, and here in the question the twist was that we have to calculate this load UDL value, not the bending stress value. Bending stress value was given to us. Alright, and based on that we have to calculate. So one thing that is important here, you can see that you should already have the knowledge of shear force and bending moment. At least the bending moment value at different locations you should know. And the formula for simple loading like the UDL and the point load, you should know the formula for that. So let's now move into the next numerical. What the numerical is showing to you, let's first of all read out. A cantilever beam is rectangular in section having 80 mm width. So the width value of the beam is given to you 80 mm. So this is 80 mm and this is your beam, students. Alright, 80 mm is the width and 120 mm is the depth. So this is the depth value. Then if the cantilever is subjected to a point load, here the point load is acting on the cantilever, that too in the free end. Free end means that end which is not supported. The end which is not supported is your free end, and the bending stress is not to exceed 40 megapascal. And in the question they have given you condition that bending moment should not exceed sigma, maximum value of bending moment, maximum value of bending stress, sorry, it should not be more than 140. So 140 is your bending stress value. And now you have to calculate the span of the cantilever beam. Span means what? Span is your length. Length you will have to calculate. This particular value you have to calculate. Now it is also as simple as the previous question. The only thing is that you should know the value of bending moment, maximum bending moment. So it is very clear in the case of point load in a cantilever, the bending moment will be equal to the maximum bending moment will be equal to this load, point load, into this distance. Means 6L is the maximum bending moment. Alright, and the stress value which is given to you is 80 megapascal. So based on it, one bending moment can be easily calculated. What? M is equal to capitals M is equal to sigma into Z. M is equal to sigma, maximum stress value which is given in the question, into Z. Alright, and from this Z value, first of all you would have to calculate, and it is not a difficult one, because since the beam is a rectangular beam, and we all know for rectangular beam Z value, for rectangular beam we all know that Z value is equal to BD square by 6. BD square by 6. Alright, so from this, putting the value of B and D both are given to us. This is your depth and this is your width, 80 and D. Based on it we can calculate the value of this Z, and this value we can apply here, and bending stress value is already given to us as 140 megapascal. Finally this bending moment can be calculated from here, and now the equation of bending moment is also 6 into L. So we will equate this value obtained by sigma Z formula with this particular value 6L, and through this L can be calculated. Let's see what is the solution. Same as I have told to you, let the unknown length be L. BD square by 6 is the section modulus. Then after its value is calculated, the value of B and D both we were having. Then maximum bending moment formula we all know in the case of point load in a cantilever, the formula is W into L. So its point load is given to us, L is unknown. Finally equating these both to, first of all, bending stress formula is sigma b is equal to m by z. So from this equation, from this putting the value of sigma b and z, we can get the value of L. As moment value, we have used this one here in the question. Alright, here in this formula we have used this values, m is equal to WL. So I hope this is also an easy question and you have gotten the understanding how to solve it. Then after moving to the next question, student, here in this question there is a rectangular beam, again 80 mm wide, 150 mm deep. Alright, and it is simply supported. Simply supported beam is the case. Overall span is 400 meter. Overall length of the beam is 4 meters. If the beam is subjected to UDL of 4.5 kilonewton per meter, then find the maximum bending stress induced in the beam. You have to find the value of sigma here, maximum. Alright, the two formula which are needed is one that is obtained by the maximum value of bending moment. In the shear force and bending moment diagram, we have studied this topic. So in a UDL, we all know WL square by 8 will give you the value of maximum bending moment. Means M value is very easy to calculate. It will be equal to WL square by 8. WL square divided by 8. Now L is already given to you as 4. This is your L. Alright. W is this one. So WL square by 8 can be calculated. Means M, bending moment, that is calculated. Now apart from that, maximum value of bending stress is equal to M by Z. Alright, and Z is your section modulus. Section modulus you will have to calculate. Again, it is a rectangular beam, so very easy to calculate. Z will be your BD square by 6. Alright, in this way you can calculate the value of Z. B and D both are given to you. This is B, this is D. So put both the values and calculate the value of Z here. Alright, this will be calculated. Now after its calculation, moment value, bending moment value is also here we can put, and finally we can get the answer. See in the solution also, Z is equal to BD square by 8. So its value is calculated. M is equal to WL square by 8. Its value is also calculated. Then bending stress is equal to M by Z. Putting these values, you will get the answer. This question was also an easy one, students. I hope you have understood. Then after, moving further, students, let's take another example. A hollow square section with outer and inner dimensions of 50 mm and 40 mm respectively is used as a cantilever of span 1 meter. How much concentrated load can be applied at the free end of the cantilever if the maximum bending stress is not to exceed by 35 megapascal? So here in the question, you can see there is a hollow square section. This is the case of a hollow square cross section, and cross section is square, keep in mind. Inner and outer dimensions are 50 mm and 40 mm respectively. So since it is a square, inner side is 40 mm, outer side is 50 mm. Alright, and it is used as a cantilever of a span 1 meter. 1 meter is your span. So if in the diagram, if there is no diagram, you will have to draw the diagram in order to enhance your understanding of this question. How much concentrated load can be applied at the free end of the cantilever? Means this point load, concentrated load means point load. So point load value, how much will be the value of this point load at the free end if the maximum bending stress is not to exceed 35 megapascal. Alright, so maximum bending stress sigma max is given to you here. So how we will approach this question? Same in the previous, whatever we have done, in the same manner here also we will do. The only difference will be that we will have to calculate the section modulus, and some differences will here in the formula will be there. What will be the formula? See here, first of all, the moment of inertia. The formula generally we use is BT BD cube by 12 for calculating the moment of inertia for a solid section. For a solid section, the formula is very easy, that BD cube by 12, BD cube divided by 12 gives you the value of moment of inertia. Alright, but here it is a hollow section. Here it is a hollow one. Hollow means inner dia also it is. So the formula will change. We will have to add one more line, that BD cube by B capital D means the outer dimensions. Alright, minus small d cube divided by 12 means the inner dimension. So here what we will do, minus the inner values. B inner values means if you can write BI, DI, you can use those words, or you can use any another alphabet for that. So another notation for that. So in this way, this will be your moment of inertia for a hollow section. So the same is written here, students. So the same is written here also, that BD cube by 12 minus BD cube by 12 is equal to, since it is a square, so B and D both are same. So B4, capital B4, small b4, this we will use. And finally the values are also given. We will put those values and moment of inertia can be calculated. So here directly section modulus formula you will not use. First of all, you will calculate moment of inertia, and then section modulus is Z is equal to I by Y. This we all know. Y will be your D by 2, means 50 by 2, that is 25. Putting that value, you will get the modulus of section, means Z value. And now what will be the value of maximum bending moment? We all know for a cantilever with a point load, the maximum value bending moment is given by W into length of the cantilever, that is 1 in this case. So putting that value, this will be 1 into 10 to the power 3 watt is your maximum bending moment value. 1 into 10 to the power 3 into W, not what, 1 into 10 to the power 3 into W. W is your unknown which has to be calculated. Alright, now this is one bending moment is calculated by this formula. The second one will be from the bending stress. Bending stress is equal to M by Z. M is your the same with an unknown of point load W. And now since we have the value of bending stress, putting that value, we will get the value of W, that is the concentrated or point load that is acting on the beam. Alright students, I hope you have understood this numerical also. Now one more numerical, the same with a hollow cross section, but in this case it is a hollow circular tube. It is a hollow steel tube, and since it is hollow, it will obviously have an external dia and an inner dia, and it is a simply supported beam, length 5 meter. The tube carries a concentrated load. The tube is carrying a point load, capital W, at a distance of 2 meter, from one of the supports. What is the value of W if the maximum bending moment is not to exceed, and if the maximum bending stress is not to exceed 100 megapascals? So the value of bending stress maximum, it is given again in this question, and what is being asked here, the value that is being asked is the value of the load, So what will be the value of load, students? The value of the load will be equal to, and what we will do, first of all, we will consider this UDL. We will consider this simply supported beam. This is your simply supported beam, and in this there is a point load at a distance of 2 meter from one of its support. From this particular support, it is at a distance of 2 meter. Now if we want to get the value of maximum bending moment, how we will calculate the value of maximum bending moment? So for such type of questions, we all know that there is a formula of maximum bending moment, that is WAB by L. A stands for this smaller side and B stands for the larger side. So WAB by L is the total length 5. This will give you the maximum value of bending moment in this section. If this is the baseline for the bending moment, the value of maximum bending moment which you are going to get is your it will not be like this. It will be a straight line. Since it is a point load, it will be something like this. So the value which is maximum here, this particular value, this will be obtained by WAB by L. I hope if you have not understood how this formula has been obtained, you can go into the video lecture in which I have explained this shear force and bending moment. Then after student, since it is a circular section, so for a circular section, the value of section modulus will be I by y. I is what? Pi by 32 d to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4. And y is your d by 2. So the same I have written pi by 64 into capital D to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4. This will give you the value of moment of inertia, and divided by d by 2, this 64 will be converted to 32. Finally, you will get, after putting the value of outer dia and inner dia, the value of section modulus you will get equal to 67.1 into 10 to the power 3. We also know that maximum bending stress can be calculated by m by z is equal to m by z. Maximum bending stress is given to us. That is how much? 100. Putting that value and putting the value of m bending moment which we have calculated and z value which we have calculated, we can get the value of the unknown. What was the unknown? Unknown was this load which was acting, this particular load. So this was also an easy question, students, not a difficult one. It was also an easy question. All right. Now, students, let's take one more example. Now, in this example, you can see that a cast iron water pipe of 500 mm inside diameter and 200 mm out thick. All right. The cast iron water pipe is 500 meter inside diameter, 220 mm thick, is supported over a span of 10 meters. Means the total length of this hollow pipe is 10 meter. 500 is the inside diameter, means this particular distance is 500, and it is thick by 20 mm, means 20 mm this side and 20 mm this side. So the total value will be equal to how much? It will become equal to, here it is 500, and here in the downward side, here it will be how much? 20 here, and here also it will be 20. So 20 and 500. 20 and 500, this means 540 will be the total outer dia. Inner dia 500, outer dia 540. All right. Then after the span is 10 meter. Then after we have to calculate the maximum stress when the pipe is running full. Means since the pipe is running full, here is the case is of since density is also given of iron and water density is also given to us. Some more twist has been created in this numerical. All right, but it is not a question to panic, because here first of all, as we have solved in the previous numericals also, cross sectional area of pipe is important. That we have calculated. Formula we know, pi by 4 capital D square minus small d square, and it is equal to 32.67. all right. Then after weight, how we will calculate? Density is given to us and area is given to us. As you can see here in the question, density of cast iron is given to us. All right, and this weight also is given. Cross sectional area is also given to us and density is also given to us. So using this, we can get the weight in Newton per mm. All right, we can get the weight in Newton per mm. This was 70.6 into 10 to the power 6 was in kilonewton per meter cube. All right. So in Newton per mm, for getting in Newton per mm, the weight, for getting weight in Newton per mm, we have multiplied with area. And the cross sectional area of water section is pi d square by 4. Small diameter we will take. Here we will take 500. All right, and we will get, this is the cross sectional area in which the water is flowing. And weight, what will be the weight of the water which is flowing in this particular section? So this is the gravity and this is the density of water. So this is, and that for water. So rho g, W is equal to rho g. We know the weight of water we will get from here. It is 1.92. all right, and weight of cast iron will be 2.31, and in this way the total weight will be, add these two weights, you will get the total weight. Moving further, now we all know the formula for maximum bending moment at the center of a beam subjected to UDL, that will be WL square by 8. Putting the value of the weight which we have calculated, it will be this much. Again, for us the section modulus for a circular section, This also we can use the formula. How it is created, we have seen in the previous numerical. This will be the value of section modulus. Then maximum bending stress will be sigma b is equal to m by z. So in this way, we can calculate the value of bending stress. Alright, I hope you have understood everything which has been taught here. Now let's see the multiple choice questions, students. First multiple choice question. The neutral axis of a section is an axis at which the bending stress is. So in this question, students, the neutral axis we all know is an axis at which the bending stress is 0. So at neutral axis, B is the option. Coming into the next one. The next one is, in theory of simple bending, the bending stress in the beam section varies. So in theory of simple bending, the bending stress in beam section varies linearly. A is the option. A is the correct one, student. Then coming into the third one. What is the third one saying? It is saying that when a cantilever is loaded at free end, maximum compressive stress should develop at. So in case of cantilever, the compressive stress is not developed at the top. See, this thing you should keep at in your mind. For a cantilever, the compressive stress is developed at the bottom fiber. Alright, this you should keep in mind. This is an important twisting question, because in simply supported beam, the maximum compressive stress is at the top fiber. Now the question number 4. What is the question number 4? The section modulus of a rectangular section having width b and depth d is given by, for a rectangular section, it is given by bd square by 6. Coming into the next fifth one, the section modulus for a circular section, pi by 32 d square. This also pi by 32 d to the power cube. This is the section modulus for a circular section diameter. Then the next one, 5 we have completed. Let's come into the sixth multiple choice question. This is our sixth multiple choice question. A beam is said to be of uniform strength if the bending stress is same at every section along its longitudinal axis. So D is the correct answer. Then stress in a beam due to simple bending is, so the stress is directly proportional, alright, to the distance from the neutral axis. So A is the correct answer. This was your MCQ number 7, students. Then coming into the next one, 8th MCQ. What is the expression of bending equation? We all know in this all options given to us, this is the correct expression. M upon I is equal to sigma by Y is equal to E by R. So this is your 8th multiple choice question. Coming into the 9th one, in bending of a beam, which is the layer which is neither elongated? Very easy question. B is the answer. Alright, so this was your MCQ number 9. Coming into the next 10th MCQ. So these were the all multiple choice questions, students. Alright, these were the all multiple choice questions which were very important in order to assess your understanding. For today it's enough, students. Thank you. These are the references. First of all, you can use any of the references given in the screen, in the slide. Thank you, students. Thank you and have a nice day.